Protect the Innocent, an original short story by Jared I. McGee. Shannon, you asked me if I knew what you were talking about in regards to having someone touch you briefly, but deeply, and how that can shake one's world. By all means, I understand completely. Moreover, I find it downright eerie that we two have met at this precise juncture. Basically, my life is also at a standstill, and I too am in quite the funk. Still, it sounds like we are on different roller coasters at the same theme park, if that extended, muddled metaphor makes any sense to you. I'm a big proponent for listening to the universe, and I feel like the universe plopped us in the vicinity of one another to help us defunk a bit. The additional television toss-outs made me smile. Adventure Time is my jam, and I certainly love the classic cartoons too. My brother recently turned me on to Gravity Falls and Star vs. the Forces of Evil. Both were rather enjoyable. If you can't tell, I'm a big kid that loves his animation. That comes from a wonderful childhood that eclipses a rather lackluster adolescence and adulthood. I watch far too many cartoons grasping at that earlier amazingness. Well, I do when I have the time. I'm actually considering doing my PhD in cultural studies, focusing on the shaping of children via animation as the medium. Being a lover of other worlds, I also have really been enjoying Game of Thrones. I'm not usually a person that waits for things to come out each week, but Mr. Martin's World is one I'm doing just that for. There's a first time for everything, I guess. Your fun facts? Well, I love tattoos as well. I have 9 and want so many more. How many do you have? Any reasons for holding off on new ones? Also, I would love to someday visit California. Where in Cali are you from? What brought you so far away from that beautiful West Coast? And the meaning of life? Well, shoot. You called me a beautiful stranger and everything, but I don't know if I have a good answer for you. I know there has got to be something to finding one's path, and that being a large part of the why of us doing whatever it is we are all flailing about doing. I grew up going to Mass, so I do have leanings in the direction of the spiritual, but I'm also not one to lecture in that vein, and to be perfectly honest, I'm not entirely certain it brings me the same comfort as it does my father and mother. I often think of everything that the people surrounding me are investing themselves in as mundane rituals, as you put it. That makes seeing a movie or going for a jog or any other daily doings a bit difficult to swallow, to be sure. If that's the case, as you asked, what is it that keeps me, quote, fighting strong day to day, unquote? Right now? Simple obligations. To family, to my friends, to my job, to my dog. To my dog. That's really about it. Otherwise, desolation would have me on my knees and incapable of even looking up. For now, I'm definitely on my knees, but I'm trying to cast my gaze a bit to see the beauty there is in this world as best I can. And that's something. Not much, but something. What is enheartening to you? What is driving you ever forward? Is there anything that I can do to make you smile a bit amid your own trials and tribulations? All that blabbering aside, let me just thank you again for taking the time to reach out, Shannon. Your message rang in while I was beyond down. Despondent, really. I'm in a bad place, and you brought a ray of sunshine to naught but dark skies and maelstroms. For that, I can't begin to adequately express my appreciation in words. That all being said, I would love to take you up on linking up sometime when we can make the stars align. Though neither of us is hearts and roses right now, misery does love company, and maybe we can make one another smile a bit. Looking forward to hearing from you, Lenny. P.S. I really enjoyed Rainbow Kitten. I'm digging 7 best thus far. Thank you so much for sharing.
Hi, Lenny. Thank you. I'm feeling much better these days as I've been keeping myself extra busy and work is picking back up finally. If you want, we can share our awful experiences and laugh at it to lighten the mood. I myself have 4 tattoos and a 3/4 sleeve. I'm just very picky with what I want. Takes me a long time to figure it out, but most of them are words and phrases. I think I've already found the next one, but just have to figure out how to present it and where to place it. I was originally from Stockton, California. Can't say I remember too much. My family and I moved to California to avoid the flooding in our area, and honestly, I'm really unsure why my mom chose to come so very far. Maybe there had been more opportunities for cash jobs. What drives me forward is the idea that one day I'll be able to have my own little family with a man who chooses me as I him. Unconditional love. One that is healthy, where we build each other up. No games, a simple life, but we know life is not. Your responses are already putting a smile on my face. I love getting to know people and learning everything about them. I'm sorry you're in a dark place, and I'm glad I can be of some assistance. Hopefully, I can help to lift you up as you've already done for me. Seeing you accomplish all of this brings me hope. I'm still trying to learn more about the things I can and can't change about myself, so I can better deal with the trials of life. Aren't RKS just so catchy? I just can't get enough. I'm thinking about looking into classes for ear harmony, but I'm wondering if I have to learn how to read music notes first. Any advice? I'd love to learn to sing, lol, so I don't bother my colleagues at work in the attics and crawl spaces. Sorry to have kept you waiting so long for a response. It's been a busy few days. Shannon. Lenny. Please excuse all the typos. Again, phone responses. I've just moved to Chandleyville, so I'll be on my computer a lot more. What a long weekend it's been. I keep praying these decisions I've been making lately will work out the way I want them to. I think in about 4 or 5 years, maybe sooner if possible, I'm going to go look at property more southern, say North or South Carolina, be near the water. I absolutely love the sun, lol, as well as the beach, and finally mastered the art of boogie boarding. But of course, summer days in Mass are almost gone. Winter's coming, and perhaps I'll take a trip somewhere warmer so I can try to dodge the cabin fever syndrome. Seasonal affective disorder. I wonder if the acronyms were pun intended. Shannon.
Shannon. I am en route traveling home to Kentucky at the moment, but when I'm stationary again, I'll respond in kind. Until then, smile and know that you have brightened my days. Best, Lenny. Shannon. I am now back in Maine, though I'm back to my time-eating job. That being said, your response is still forthcoming. How are things of late in the interim? Lenny.
Lenny, you definitely had me worried for a bit there. Oh my, from what you said before, you are literally living just 20 minutes from me after all. Work has been stressful the last few weeks. I have been getting all of the difficult and bigger jobs with inadequate help. My boss has been on my case about finishing up quickly, but he does not understand the time process it takes to get certain things done. I think it is about time to start thinking about a different career choice. I certainly don't enjoy it the way I used to, but that was before I started running jobs. Problem is, I know I am capable of doing and being anything I want, just what do I want? I am exhausted though, so I am heading to bed shortly. I look forward to your response. I would love to hear more about you and how you became the you are today. I've lived for that sort of thing. I collect people's stories. Sweet dreams, Lenny. Hope you make some time for yourself and some fun too. Best, Shannon.
Shannon. Hello! I am finally getting back to you after all this time. Again, I can't apologize enough for the extreme disconnect. Basically, because of my recent personal problems, I had to head back to Kentucky to take care of a whole lot of business that couldn't be done from afar. It's a much longer story, but you get the point. It's been challenging. Thank you for all the light and joy you tossed my way, now so very long ago. Like you, I do have some tattoos. As I said 9 before, it's actually 10 to be exact. It's all black work, and that is very special and meaningful to me, as I feel tattoos should be. From your answers to my original questions, we too agree upon that. All your personal and professional goals is amazing. Right now, it's very difficult for me to think that way, especially toward, as you framed it, unconditional love. How do you maintain that positivity even in the face of adversity? Do you have a secret you can share? Flying in the face of my dripping pessimism, I too enjoy getting to know people and learning about them. I always tell others that I am a collector of stories and experiences. The way I see it is that I've always got things that I can learn from pretty much anyone and everyone else on the planet. The more stories I collect, the better off I'll be having added their experiences to my own. Jumping out of that rather heavy topic, why yes, RKS is quite catchy. I fear that I'm on a bit more of a darker bent of late though. Brand New, one of my favorite bands from my youth, released their best reviewed album of their careers. It's called Science Fiction and is quite cathartic for me. If and when you're feeling down, it might be for you too. I know others probably told you this, but by golly, I'm sure you can sing, classes or none. It just takes the practice and focus, which you seem to have in spades. So sing on, Shannon. Don't quiet your voice. Your final question to me was whether I like my job or not. That is a very complicated question for me, actually. The short answer? I have no idea. I have days where I enjoy it. I have days when I think it's awful and that I'm wasting my life. At the moment, I have no desire to be in my job, as my job is utterly linked to my old life, forcing my would-be beloved and I to exist together here in this area, this everything that is interwoven. What this means is that now that she's gone on to better things and a great many more men, the situation has become exceedingly difficult and far from comfortable or enriching. So maybe ask me again in another month or 4, and I'll have a different, or at least clearer answer. The last tidbit I saw from you that piqued my interest is that you're now in Chandleyville? Is that the case? If so, you're the only city, quote-unquote, close to me as I work right up the road. Is there any chance you'd like to sync up for a cup of coffee sometime? If not, no worries. If so, then great. Looking forward to hearing from you. All my best as always. Lenny.
Hey, Lenny. Honestly, some days I'm not sure. I try to remain hopeful about the future as my childhood was very traumatic, so the belief that one day I'd have my own little family kept my moving along. Can't say it was gracefully, but I did the best I could with what I was given. One day I'll write about it when I'm ready. And I keep hoping I'll figure out what my purpose is for this lifetime. I just can't seem to figure it out yet. No secret, I have my bad days where I become hopeless, but then people like you enter my life. It becomes more of a reason to keep fighting for the future. My biggest challenge right now is enjoying the present moment. Once I achieve that, everything else becomes easier. But winter is coming. I suffer from SAD, hence my wanting to go south where it's warmer. My dear Lenny, the things we have in common, I can't recall if I told you. I tend to be a bit hesitant now with sharing, but I truly do understand the whole working and living together. I, too, had worked with my ex and lived with him for 3 out of the 4 years we were together. I'm really sorry you have to experience that, and you're still going through it. Just remember, one day at a time. Nothing is permanent. We can help one another stay positive. No one ever tells us as kids, life is fucking hard. It truly is. But our game isn't over yet. Kind of like in Game of Thrones, it's just not our time to go. Until then, we must fight. The one question I will keep asking you is, were you the best you could be today? I did that for a while a few months ago, and it truly helped me to be the best I could. I was great, happy and all. There was also the brief period where that person entered my life and gave me a moment of pure ecstasy. Well, what's your next career? What do you think you might enjoy? I love the construction field. I do, just no more insulation. I'm tired of being itchy. What a silly question. Of course I'd love to link up for a coffee. It seems both of our living situations are not ideal at the moment. I moved in with my ex as his way of paying me back here and there to help save money on rent, though work is very far from Shanleyville. The drive is brutal. It's complicated, but the way I see it, $650 a month back in my pocket for paying off that $20,000 I owe for the failed business plan. Anyway, that's enough blabbering out of me for tonight. Gotta get up at 5 a.m. to drive to work. You let me know what your schedule is like and we'll go from there. Me, being a woman, taking a whole paragraph to say yes. Good night, Lenny. Don't think too much. Deep breaths and keep your head up. Tomorrow will be a better day. Shannon.
Shannon, you had great timing tonight. After a long, difficult day of faking being okay throughout the workday, I had to go back and schmooze with key members of the company in order to strengthen the bonds of that company and my chances for advances up the glorious corporate ladder. Exhausted and a bit at my wit's end, I've been back home but a bit roiling and upset. Then, ping! I received your email. That simple act of reaching out and sharing means the world right now. Despite us being veritable strangers to one another. Seriously though, thank you. Moreover, the fact that you can empathize a bit with me regarding having to mix life, love, work, and everything in between is mind-blowing. Not many can even begin to understand this lifestyle that I'm leading, so it's somewhat relieving that someone outside of my contained world might just be able to understand it. Your shaping how you express your feelings and how you offer me advice via Game of Thrones made me smile, by the way. I'm a huge fan of the books and have finally caught up on all the TV episodes, save this last season's finale. I hate to hear that the Stark motto is the one that you feel encompasses the swaths of your life, but in truth, I do too. So I guess there's another similarity we share. I'm also impressed with your daily question mantra. Do you find that when you ask yourself that question that it drives you forward? I don't know that I'm up for answering it. I mean, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that I was not the best me I could be today, yet I know that just by getting up and meeting the day, I pushed a courageous act that I honestly would not have said that I was capable of in the face of this morning. So yeah, thoughts? How do you use the mantra to drive to be a better Shannon? It certainly sounds like your living situation in Shanleyville is financially sound and emotionally tough. I hate to hear that you have to sacrifice one sort of stability for another. You're clearly a smart, logical woman, though, so I'm betting you have a way better handle on all of this than little Lenny over here can or would. To the point of that elongated final paragraph. Yay, coffee! My schedule is about to go insane, but here are some notes about possible wins for me to hit up. Is it Ambrosia and More Cafe? Tomorrow I'm free as of, well, now, after 6:30 p.m. Friday is relatively flexible as are Saturday, Sunday, and the first half of Monday. Tuesday the 5th to Saturday the 9th will see me literally working 6 a.m. to midnight the next day. Sunday the 10th is another openish day for me, and after that, no idea. I fear the new boss keeps our schedules difficult to predict too terribly far into the future. Do let me know if any of that makes sense, the dates or my blubbering, and or if snagging some coffee and allowing ourselves the support group of 2 to meet in real life might be possible. Again, Shannon, thank you. If you haven't done anything selfless lately, know that you made a difference in a stranger's night just by being kind. And that's a big deal. All my best, Lenny.
Hi, Lenny. Sorry for the late reply. Yesterday was another tough day at work, understaffed as usual. Anyways, getting up and doing what you're supposed to do in the midst of emotional roller coaster ride and surviving another day, sometimes that is the best we can do for that day. I think being a little more forgiving and empathetic toward oneself is necessary. Sometimes we give others too much of our best selves than our own self. Better Shannon. As of late, I haven't been asking myself that. I should, but as I've recently just moved to Gardner, I'm trying to settle in emotionally and stay focused on the plan set at hand. reminding myself that I need to get out of the cold and be somewhere warmer with amazing food. I've thought about culinary school, honestly, because I am such a big foodie and would travel anywhere for food that I think would be delicious. But back to the question. I wanted to get back to the old me, where I'd smile just because the sun was out and the birds were chirping. All the little things in life we take for granted. Also, picking up trash in random places where it didn't belong and putting it in a trash can, say at a grocery store parking lot, for example. Sure, it might not make a difference, but it's the right thing to do, and perhaps it could inspire a child who may have witnessed the small act, and let it influence their thoughts for the future. Every little action we put out affects the universe in some way, so why not be a little more kind? Do a few more little things, not to make me feel better about myself, but in hopes that it would positively affect someone else. That's the most difficult part right now, is that I just feel like I'm existing. I'm not making a difference anywhere. I don't volunteer, I don't do this or that, because I feel like I have to deal with the current issue at hand, which is my debt and a new career path. You're too tough on yourself. Give yourself a break. You've made it this far. You'll continue to go far. Perhaps take a break from the world and spend some time with yourself and really think about what you want. Forget about the money, forget about everything. Watch this video. Alan Watts' What If Money Was No Object? My thing I'd love to do is learn new recipes and perfecting them. I am absolutely obsessed with food. Or building things, maybe both. Just gotta figure out how to get there when I want it bad enough. Right? I'm not sure, but it's an idea. I'm so silly, I should have left my number in my last email. I'm free tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, possibly parts of Monday, but sure, I've never been to Ambrosia. I've got to do more exploring around here, but I found the Asian food around here isn't ideal compared to Lowell, Boston area. I spoil myself with good food, but perhaps one day when you're free, I'll bring you up that way if you'd like. Cambodian food, Indian food, hot pot, sushi buffet. Oh, I don't think I ever realized how passionate I am about food. Until now. Anyway, you can give me a ring later or text at 999-555-0556. Going to be in Lovington all day today visiting my best friend. We're pretty boring. We're going to be cooking and playing some video games, maybe put on a scary movie. I don't know what it is, but we have so much fun doing simple things together, and I recently realized that was the kind of relationship I needed if I were to enter anymore. Just sucks as my best friend is a gay man and my other best friends are two heterosexual women. I crack myself up. Okay, I look forward to hearing from you. Let me know what works for you. P.S. Try this exercise. Though you are maybe a bit too intellectual for it, try treating yourself as if you were your own child. I wrote a love letter to myself in this exercise a few months back, and it was such an emotional experience, scary yet satisfying to realize that you are the only person who will be with you until the end of your time here on Earth. But don't think too much, just go out and do something fun. Shannon.
Shannon, quick response? I'd love to snag some coffee on Sunday morning, if you're available, of course. I fear that the only coffee shop in Chandleyville, or anywhere near that little burg, doesn't open until 11 a.m., though. Is that too late? I'll text tomorrow when the hour isn't so late. My number is 999-555-1366, just to give you a heads up. Lenny.
Hey Lenny, I didn't mean to ghost you or whatever it's called. I wanted to apologize for that. I got cold feet after the last guy I met up with online, in which I fell extremely hard for. So, the day we planned to, I was not emotionally or mentally ready for that. I should have just told you, but I was in my cowardly state. Anyway, I hope you're well. I have not been my best, but major changes coming up, and I'm trying really hard to straighten myself up. I quit my job due to various factors, and have been trying to figure out the next big career move. I'm thinking real estate or a master's in the arts, preferably teaching dance or something. Maybe I can do all of it. I'm not sure, but I'm going with it. It's life, right? As a kid, I wanted to be a million things, and I've basically done exactly that, as my nature is free-spirited. I know I'm close to finding whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing. I don't mean to just pop back into your life. I've had the same done to me, and no, it's not fair to you, but I just wanted to apologize again. If anything, you needed a friend, and I apparently wasn't ready for it. I hope you're well, and if you aren't, don't forget, life gets better. Just gotta push through the rough storms. I know I'm trying. Good night. Shannon.
Shannon. Wow! Has it really been 2 months since your last email? I am a terrible correspondence partner, aren't I? Well, firstly, let me just say that you did not offend me by your ghosting, as you called it. By all means, we all have our ins, outs, in-betweens, and just oddities of self. Some days I can't even get out of my bed to face the world, so fearing a face-to-face meeting with a stranger is extremely understandable. I too am quite cowardly, if that is indeed how we're defining that. How is everything post-quitting your job? What have you moved on to? Also, what are those big changes you spoke of? I certainly hope that you're ever closer to whatever it is you're meant to be or do. For the record, yet again, receiving a message from you really did some good for me. I read your email on October 20th, which was a pretty rough day for me. Why? Well, now 2 months on, I honestly can't remember. I just remember having been weeping, as in full-on belly sobbing about something, and then I got your email out of the blue, so, you see? Apologies just aren't necessary. Do let me know how this finds you, if you wish, and I'm certainly sending you all my best. Belated Merry Christmas if you celebrate, and here's to hoping that 2018 treats we two far kinder. I hope this isn't our last conversation, but if it is, go out there and live the life that you want. Wasn't that your advice to me? All my best. Lenny. Thank you for listening to Protect the Innocent. Firstly, let me say a very heartfelt thank you to Miss Elizabeth Peterson for lending her voice to this story. Elizabeth is an educator, mathematician, and playwright who can be found between New England, Scotland, and Canada. She likes logic and words, and her favorite words are
Syzygy, eleemosynary,
and
logodedaily.
And yes, I did have to look those up. You can read her theater reviews and thoughts on the world at her website, mathematicalmedievalist.wordpress.com. That's mathematicalmedievalist.wordpress.com. It was a real treat to work with her, and a real treat for all of us to hear her dulcet voice in place of my usual droning. Hopefully, we'll hear even more from her soon, both as a voice actor and as an author. The main musical track comes from Free Music Archive. Bassoonists Arthur Grossman, Bruce Granger, and Terry Ewell are performing compositions by Julius Weissenborn, Pierre-Max Dubois, Eugène Boza, and Robert Ronet for Pandora Records in 1984. The piece is being used under an Attribution Share-alike 4.0 International CC BY SA 4.0 license. All other noises in the background of the story are from freesound.org, including this final guitar track. These sounds and this musical track are all being used under CC 0 1.0 Universal Public Domain dedication licenses. Next up on our Big 50th episode are the combined parts 11 and 12 of Jack Lee's novella Ants of the Fire, The Legend of Tilo. If you've not listened to the other riveting parts of Mr. Lee's story, you should really go back and do so you're not lost. For those that are all caught up, we leap back into the story with this mysterious new colony.
And then another one goes here, And then another one. And then me again. And then another one that's really long goes here. Da-da-da-da-da. Next one. And then another one goes here, and it's really long. And then another one for me. And then there's another one in here. This one's short. Then me again. And that's it. That's the end of it. Yay!